we are back, folks, with another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider, and spring football is well underway. The Wolverines bringing prospects in from across the country, and we have talked about how they have gone far and wide, bringing top prospects from all over the United States. But the footprint recruiting is the lifeblood of the program, and looking for guys who fit the bloodline of the defensive line is what it's all about. And when you talk about, the rankings, if you're a slave to the rankings, this is what we've learned about the Maize Blue, then that can be your downfall. Now, we know Michigan, they're going to recruit the 5 stars, but they're not going to only recruit 5 stars, because if they did that, there's a guy named Mason Graham that never would have wound up at the University of Michigan. He was a 3-star prospect when the Wolverines first recruited him, and we see where Mason Graham is right now. Why do I mention that? Because the young man before me right now is one of the guys, one of the grittiest, one of the guys who, when you talk about grinding, one of the most physical, one of the most tenacious, one of the guys with the best motors in the country, hailing from the state of Pennsylvania, the gritty city of Philadelphia, from St. Joseph's Prep. Alex Haskell is with us today. Hello. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah. It's been a real fun visit up here. Ann Arbor's a great city, so.
Yeah, man, glad that you could join us today. I like to get into guys' football journey and football background. I gave a real good, what I like to say, build up, and I compared you to a guy who I went to see in high school, because when I talk about the tenaciousness and motor that he plays with, it really was very reminiscent of when I watch your tape, very reminiscent of him. So, but let's talk about you, and let's go back to your foundation in the game and when you started playing and your love of the game. So let's just start there. When did you first get into it and start loving it?
So I started playing football when I was 4. I played up with my older brother, because he also played at the time. He was like 6 at the time, so I was playing at the pads when I was 4 years old. And then I didn't realize I could actually take it somewhere until I was like 11, 12, when I realized I can actually, because I was bigger than a lot of other kids my age. So I didn't realize till like 11, 12 that I could actually be great at something. And then once I came around high school, I decided to go to St. Joe's Prep, because at the time they were ranked number 2 in the nation, and they were only like a 10, 15-minute drive from my house. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, might as well go here. And then the rest is just been grinding in high school, and that's about it.
Yeah, man, if you're in Philly, I mean, it's synonymous with grit and with grind, right? And I see that when I watch your game. Now, there's when you go to St. Joe's, I mean, there's something that goes along with that too. That's a program. You don't even have to be from Philly to know about the tradition that comes along with that. So when you stepped on the stage there, I mean, was there an adjustment for you, or was it right away you were competing at a high level?
Well, there wasn't that big of, the biggest adjustment was actually school-wise, because I was in the same elementary to middle school from K to 8th. Mm-hmm. So I went to a school, I didn't really know anyone there. That was the biggest adjustment. But football-wise, I was just ready to go, because I just thought about it. It's not no different than what I was playing last year. Just playing bigger guys and people my size.
I got you. So the first time I heard about you was a couple of years ago from the Penn State guys at Penn State camp, and it seemed like your breakout moment. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So I was planning on going to a lot of camps that summer, because over my freshman season, I didn't really get that much playing time. I had a concussion the first 2-3 weeks of the season, and then after that, my coach was just like, he's a freshman, just let him just get adjusted to everything else high school got. So after that, I remember I went to that camp one, because my coach was like, just try to get to every camp around you. So I was actually planning on going to Rutgers and Maryland, but after that Penn State one, I did really good at it. I think I won majority of the one-on-ones we did. I was really doing really good in the drills, and after that they actually offered me. So I was like, oh, if they're offering me already, I might as well just focus on the next season and not go to all these camps on the weekends and stuff, because they do take a toll on you. But yeah, I remember I did so good at the first one. They invited me to their second one with like it was like an elite camp. I don't really know what it was, but yeah, I played it. There was a few good guys. There was a guy that actually went to Penn State. I think he was a 5-star. It was Cooper Cousins. And there was a kid, Mikey Carroll, there that went to Alabama, which I actually went up against one-on-ones, and I didn't do too bad. I think we like split both those guys. So yeah, I remember those camps. And I was only a sophomore. I think I was the youngest guy at the elite camp. So yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of like a coming out party, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right, where you got Penn State's attention, got some national recognition as a recruit, and now you go back to St. Joe's. And take me into your sophomore season, and take me onto the field, and how things start to go for you in high school at that point.
So sophomore year, we had a goon squad that year. We had really good players. We had, just to name a few, we had QB Smiles Jones went to Cincinnati. We had 3 wide receivers that went to Power 4 schools, and on defense, I think we had a D1 guy at every position. So they loaded up our schedule that year. We played IMG first game of the year, which that was probably the funnest game I ever played in. 'Cause I think I had like 4 tackles. I had a strip sack too, which was like, we got turned back for a touchdown. I was so hyped that day. But yeah, I was really playing good. I was on fire like the first 4 games of the season, and then like I kind of started slowing down towards the end, and then I picked it back up towards the playoffs, because I realized like if you want to be a top guy, you got to play great no matter what game you're playing. If you're playing IMG, if you're playing the local public school. So yeah, and then after that season, I started rec. I think I got to like 12 offers after that season. So, and then yeah, my junior season, I thought I played a lot better than my sophomore year, and I improved a lot.
So let's talk about your game, Alex. For people who haven't seen you play, I like to have guys sort of put themselves in the mode of a coach or a scout in the stands. So do that. Pretend for a second that you're a coach or a scout, and you're watching Alex Haskell.
So if I was watching myself, the main thing would obviously be I'm never going to give up on a play. Like that's the number one thing I'll never do. And so that would be like the main thing that I would think would stand out. But another like actual like skill things when it comes to my game, I think I'm really good in the run game. I can stick, I can set an edge. If you need me to get on there, a guy, I can get on there. If you need me to get off the edge, if you need me to even play 2 gaps at once, I can do that. The one flaw I would say is that I need to work on my bend a little bit, which if I was a coach, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably his main flaw. But I have pretty good hands in the pass game. But I'm very powerful in the pass game too. I play with really good extension. I've always had my arms locked out and never really into guys with my face. So if I was a coach, that's probably what I would pick up from my own tape.
Well, you said you think you have pretty good hands. I think you have really good hands. I think you have really good hands. I think you get off blocks really well.
Yeah.
Your block destruction is really, really well. I think that's one of the things that you do in the run game. You get rid of guys. In the pass rush game, you're able to get off of guys and get to the quarterback really, really well. Your size. So I think our guys maybe saw you, maybe as a freshman, they list you at 6'3", 230. That's not accurate. What are you up to now, height and weight?
I'm around 6'4". Now I'm ranging between like 265, 270. So I want to play this season at a good 265. So that's my goal.
So if you're 6'4", 265, you can play strong side in. Now at St. Joe's, do they play you strictly an in, or do they move you up and down the line?
But yeah, last year, my sophomore year, we have obviously kid Maxwell Roy going to team down south. Can't say it here. But yeah, so they didn't really need me to play D tackle as much. And then actually last year he got hurt, so they were like, we're going to play you wherever we need you. So I played all the way from strong side end all the way down the nose guard. So yeah.
Okay. So is that something colleges are talking to you about as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I think would really help me when I actually get to college is just being versatile. I don't think I can be an every down D tackle, because I don't think I ever get to like 325. The guys, humongous guys like Mason Graham is probably like 315. He's a big dude. And then I don't think I can also be an every down end because I feel like being versatile, I can play wherever you need me to, and I can fill in roles wherever I need to play.
So is there a player in college or the pros that you look at, or that college coaches compare you to, or that you try to emulate?
Well, the great pass rushers, obviously, my favorite one is Max Crosby because he can kill you.
Yeah, he played down the road at Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. I always say Myles Garrett, but there's no one that can replicate Myles Garrett. He's one-on-one, so looking at him is probably not the greatest thing to do. But if there's one player I could say like emulates my game the best, it's like the Forrest Buckner coming out of college because he was like a strong side end, but now he's playing tackle now, so he can really play wherever. And a guy like Eric Armstead, who's been playing a lot. He played edge on the 49ers, but I think he's playing more of an inside role. But yeah, I like to try to take aspects from every great pass rusher. Like Max Crosby can be whatever move he wants to.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, I mean, he's a physical freak.
Yeah, Mad Max. Yeah. You know, it's a great story. You know, Max is from Lapeer, Michigan. Really lightly recruited. Dude went to Eastern Michigan, balled out.
And also, he plays with a really high motor, which I really like.
Yeah, super high motor, 4th round draft pick, and now, you know, he was, at least for a period of time, the highest paid defensive player in the National Football League. So, all right, so your Michigan recruitment, when does that start? Like, take me to the beginning of that.
So, I was actually sitting, like, watching the NFL one Sunday, and I don't remember who exactly called me, but I remember someone called me, and they were like, hey, it's Michigan. And like, you know, when you get a phone call from a coach, you know it's probably going to – a new coach, not like a coach you already been talking to, but, you know, it's probably going to end up. And actually, they offered me, and I was really excited. Then from there, I was like – because growing up, I always loved, like, Penn State, Michigan. I loved the team down south. I don't know. Like I said, 'cause I was just like, these are really cool, and they're up north. They're not like the South teams, like the Alabamas and stuff. So like, I always said to myself, if I ever get offered to like Michigan, I want to take a visit there. So, yeah. So after that, like I was planning on taking a lot of visits in the spring. I've been on 3 of them so far. So I was like, I'm just gonna take it just to like go to Michigan. Like I wasn't expecting I didn't know how high they had me. And then throughout like the winter, they showed me that I was actually a priority for them. So it was really, really cool just coming here to see.
Okay. All right. So Coach Espo, you know, obviously you're the guy recruiting you. So what's the connection like with him? What's the vibe like with him? What do you think of Coach Espo?
Coach Espo, he's just a really good guy. He's really funny. And he really keeps it real when it comes to like, just like being a D lineman. He's always going to tell you what it is, and he's not going to hold it back. Like yesterday at practice, he was getting on guys' nerves, just screaming at them and all that stuff, which I really enjoy because I'd rather have a coach that genuinely shows you what it is, and instead of a coach that either cupcakes it or a coach that's also too hard on you. You know, like you can't do anything right in his eyes. You know, and also I found out, just being here, he has an open door policy. So if you want to watch film with him, you can just walk into his office and he's going to watch specifically your reps, which I think is a really cool thing. And that could really lead to more development and stuff. And also just the guys he's produced, like 2 probably first round D tackles, probably a edge getting drafted this year, just like so. Yeah, that's pretty much the relationship with him. He's a really cool guy. And
even before he got to Michigan, you know, a few 2nd round picks, you know, at other schools as well. So as far as his plan for you, let's say for the sake of argument, if you were to pick Michigan, what did he say about how he would use you?
I think he really truly wants me to be the versatile guy that he can be, because he always talking about like that's probably your biggest strength, and that's what's going to get most guys drafted over other guys. Like in the NFL, if you're in a draft process, you see a kid that can play 3 positions instead of being strictly a nose guard or something, then they could that's going to get you highly drafted. So I really hope that when I come here, I could truly become a really versatile player.
So now, if you were to pick Michigan, then another guy that you would be talking to a lot, dealing with a lot, being used by a lot, Coach Wink. What did you think?
Yeah,
What did you think, Coach Wink?
I mean, he showed us the guys that he's coached. I mean, being in the NFL with the Ravens, coached one of the best defenses of all time at the time. So it's just like he was pretty funny in the meeting. But you can tell he takes his job really serious, and he's really new in college. Well, he's really new on the new age of college. I mean, I know he coached college back in the 90s.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
So now, a guy that with pro experience like that has a lot of experience using guys like you up and down the line of scrimmage, and has experience when it comes to, having an offense that might be missing some guys, a defense that might be missing some guys. You go down to that school down south, as you call them. You're a 4-touchdown underdog. No one thinks you can win the game, and you kill them.
Yeah.
No one thinks you can do it, and you beat them. Does that impact a recruit like you when you see something like that?
I told my dad before the game, I think Michigan's going to win because obviously they're underdogs now. They didn't really have the season that they wanted to, which that's just having a big win like that, and also beating Alabama the next, the bowl game, it probably wasn't next week, but yeah, that's pretty like cool to see. Like they ended on a real high note, and maybe this season was just a fluke season. Not a lot of guys were hurt, obviously, so just seeing that they can truly still win those big games just makes me, I want to play in big games when I come to college. I want to beat the best teams.
Yeah, because I wonder, is that, when you're looking at schools like that, I mean, they're the only team in the Big Ten that can say they're beating down Ohio State like that. And like no other school in the Big Ten can say that. Does that matter in the grand scheme of things, or is that not really a big deal?
Obviously it matters a little bit, but once you get to college, every game's going to be tough. As much as some of the games look easier than other games. And I don't like to put teams on a higher level than other teams. And I know it's a big rivalry here, which is like you beat your rivals, you're obviously going to have a little more swag to you throughout the season.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not as big as a factor, but it definitely still is. Like you they were number 2 team in the nation. That's how I would look at it personally. I want to look at it as, we beat Ohio State, beat the number 2 team in the nation. Like we can really still bang with the best teams.
I got you. All right, so Coach Moore, your impressions of Coach Moore, sitting down with him, meeting him, getting to know him.
Yeah, when I was actually in his office, Coach Moore seemed like a pretty laid-back guy. He seemed like a pretty cool, laid-back guy. And then he was screaming his head off at practice yesterday. Just some guys didn't put the ball in the right place. But yeah, just seeing the relationship he has with some of the guys, just like after practice, he was smiling with them and all that stuff. Just shows he's not like a robot coach, which there's a few coaches I ran into that are just like robots. Mm-hmm. But he seems like a pretty cool guy. He got a personality to him, which some coaches don't have, which I always value. Like, you got to be a real person.
I get that. So looking back on this Michigan experience, what would you say stood out to you the most? What's your biggest takeaway from your time in Michigan?
It's just how nice the city is. Like I always heard pretty good things about it. Like it's a really nice college town, which is probably the thing that really stood out to me the most. I didn't know. I never been here. This is my first time here, and it's truly it's a very close-knit town, but there's a lot of people in it, and it's a really nice town. And also the thing football-wise, how close the players seem. In between periods, there's players cracking jokes with each other, which you probably don't see that a lot, especially in the new age of college football with the transfer portal and that, where people are coming in and out. Someone might come and take your job, which you probably hold them in a little bit of a shady regard. But nobody really seemed to do that, and they just seem like a true brotherhood here.
Gotcha. All right, so let's draw away, Alex, from talking about Michigan specifically and talk about your decision-making process. When you get ready to pick a school, what are going to be the biggest factors in that choice?
So definitely wherever I want to go has to feel like home. Like, it has to feel like I'm comfortable there. Like, I can't go to a school where I'm going to be, like, sad all the time, like, which I couldn't do that. The second thing is just, like, how genuine the coaches are. Like, just being on these visits and build a relationship with coaches, like, you can see which coaches are, like, gassing you up and what coaches are being real with you, which I really appreciate. And third thing is just, like, coming in here, like, well, obviously, one thing I picked is just academics. Like, you can't, I'm a pretty smart guy. I got a 3.7, so I don't want to go to a school that I could get into without football, you know? Like, I want to use this to, like, put me somewhere where I could get just what using football, like, I couldn't get without it. So, yeah, and then the fourth thing is just, like, where they see me at positional-wise. Like, do you think about using me throughout the whole line? Do you think about putting me in one position, which both of them have their pros and both of them have their cons? Like, it's going to be harder to learn 3 different positions, but when you're getting drafted, it's going to be better for you because you got position versatility. But pros of being in one position, you learn it, you know it like the back of your hand. But the cons is you getting drafted.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I hear you. So what about distance from home?
I obviously limited. I didn't want to go. Definitely wasn't going out to the West Coast. I couldn't be in a different time zone as my family. Like, I didn't want to go all the way down south to, like, I couldn't do that because I'm a pretty homesick guy. I think Michigan's probably, like, the furthest I would go, honestly. Like, I'm not going anywhere further than this because I still want my family to be relatively close and could get to me within, like, an hour if they hop on the plane or something. Like, I don't want them to have to drive, like, a day to Florida or fly, like, 3 hours to across the country. Like,
So Happy Valley doesn't have a huge advantage over Ann Arbor, though?
Not as much as I would like it.
So I'm asking from the standpoint of, because, you know, mamas don't like their babies that far from home. So from that standpoint, it's not a huge thing.
No, it's not as big as a thing. I think the main thing, like, is just, like, feeling like home, you know, like, don't gotta be at home to feel like home, you know.
I got you. All right. One thing that we like to do when we're talking to guys is when they're reflecting upon their journey, we like them to take a moment to pay some attention and some recognition to the people who helped them along the way, who are helping them along the way, and to shout out the people who are helping you along the way in this journey, who pick you up when you're down, who are supporting you, who are going to pick you up along the way as you continue to go, like the people in the back of the room right now.
Yeah, so just want to say shout out to my teammates. They've helped me through this. They're really good, genuine people at St. Joe's Prep. And then shout out to my coaches. Obviously, without them, I want to be as good as a player if I would. I want to be developed as a person. Shout out to my trainer, Joe Ferrero. He's been there with me since I was in 7th grade. I was a real fat, pudgy kid in 7th grade, but he really made me into a athlete, you know. And then just lastly, shout out to my brothers and parents, like just my family in general. They've always been there to help me. Like they never quit on me, and they never forced me to play football. If I didn't want to do it, they'll still love me the same, you know. So shout out to my family.
Absolutely. All right. So now, if we want to circle some games on the schedule, Alex, to come see you do your thing, what game should we come out to watch?
I don't know our schedule yet. You know, we have one confirmed game, American Heritage, so we're playing them, which they're a really good football program down there, and it's going to be a really good game. You know, they have really good athletes, really good coaching, and I'm excited and we're playing them in Florida, so the elements too, they got the advantage. So, but I'm excited to play them there. I love playing the best competition, and I feel like if you're not excited to play great teams, then you don't really love football that much, you know.
Okay. Well, a couple of questions to close things out. So, do you have your visit schedule, like OVs?
No, I'm only taking one OV till I commit to. This is actually my last visit.
Okay.
Like, before that I commit. So,
Okay, so what's your timeline for making a decision then?
I don't totally know when I'll get everything sorted out. I still got to talk to my coaches, my parents, and obviously, so it would be definitely before the summer. So sometime around early May, late April. So it'll be pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right. And what schools have you visited?
The 3 I visited in the spring is Syracuse, Penn State, and Michigan.
Syracuse, Penn State, and Michigan.
So they're my top 3.
Gotcha. So it'll be between those schools then, and then decision soon. And then what would you say you like the most about Michigan at this point? And what would you say the biggest question you have about Michigan at this point?
Just the biggest thing about Michigan is just Michigan's probably the best brand in college. Like, it's one of the best brands in the world. That's just like, that would really set me further just in life. You know, just getting a Michigan degree, you would be the largest living alumni base. Like, you would be you have such an advantage in life over other people. So it just set you so far. Great academics, also great football. Like, they're not no slouch when it comes to football. They obviously won the national championship 2 years ago now. So, and then the biggest question is just like, could I see myself like genuinely playing here? You know, Michigan, they always get the best recruits, and I'm not scared to compete, but sometimes you can get overrun, you know. So that's going to be the biggest question about Michigan.
Gotcha. Well, Alex, appreciate you taking the time, man. Good luck this coming season, and appreciate your time. We'll be down to watch you play.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Alex Haskell.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for watching another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider.